Getting excited about some of the guys with the all-conference stuff, and we've been out recruiting, which has been, I think, okay. Battling. I think recruiting's just starting in this day and age of all the changes with commitments and who's committed and not. So we're battling that hard. We got one more active week of recruiting. Last week with our team coming off Purdue, we had a long run, a lot of physical ball. Kids played really, really hard. So we really took a lot of the veterans, gave them the opportunity, I think, to just kind of physically get fresh. Not do some things young guys. We lifted a few days, and then we went out Friday and Saturday and tied it into our recruiting weekend, and then went out this afternoon, really still giving kids, the seniors like Mangieri's and Shaw's and Sudfeld, just in sweats and standing around, and guys that have played a lot like John Crawford as a freshman or Ricky Jones. Just, we try not to overwork those guys. So we've had a few practices, but it was more. I love practicing. I like working. It's young guy work, so it's kind of good. So, like I say, we're in the middle of recruiting. We got another week of that. We'll do the same thing next week. Then we transition into final exam week, and then it gets going into the end of the game deal. And appreciate you being here. It's great that we got these guys to the bowl opportunity, and now a chance to go to Pinstripe. I think our administration worked very, very hard with many options. I think at the end of the day, with what was presented with our fan base and the Big Ten ties into the Northeast region now with Rutgers and Maryland and the Penn State presence, I think it's great for us to be there. We got a strong alumni base there. It is over the Christmas holiday, and it will be probably a little bit more expensive than some other venues, but chance to play in Yankee Stadium. Being a sports, I wouldn't say I'm the biggest baseball guy ever, but I know like the first time I went to Wrigley Field, I almost started crying thinking like, hey, Lou Gehrig played out here, or Babe Ruth, and that's the same deal. You got a chance to, they got a new stadium, I guess. It's not the same field, but still, it's kind of neat to play in one of the great cities. It's kind of going to be neat to play in a great venue. I think we'll get, some good TV time. I think we've been a good TV draw. We've got great alumni base, so I hope our fans will, ride with us and show up in a good way. And like I said, then a chance to play an outstanding team in Duke. I think this is their fourth bowl team. I haven't really done much on them yet, but I believe it's, I was down at the Peach Bowl 2 years ago, or whatever it's called now, Chick-fil-A, whatever it is, when they were playing Texas A&M. So Coach Cutcliffe's done a phenomenal job, and we've studied them from afar and the way they've developed their program. And I know Coach Cutcliffe from all the way back from being coordinator days at Tennessee in the 90s. So far, he's a great coach. He's doing a great job. So it's neat to play a strong team. And I know they've got strong East Coast ties. I think it matches up to be a good game, and we look forward to the preparation and more than anything, a chance to keep getting our program better. Yeah, and those are always hard because you don't control that. But, sometimes you're playing teams that cosmetically are going to be very, very hard to win. But then when you do, it doesn't look good because everybody assumes you're going to. And there's a lot of teams that quote, are not at that Power 5 level that are very, very good and are tough. I mean, got stuck playing Boise one day in the Fiesta Bowl, and that was tough matchup. We're on the wrong end of the ledger. So anytime you're playing someone in a bowl game, you're playing a good team. You're playing a winning team, and they've got winning traits. So it's always going to be good competition. But I think for our chance to just have, you're playing a team like Duke that's going to have good selling brand. It's got, some Southeast branding to it. It's got East Coast branding. It's going to draw TVs. It's going to draw recruits. And then you're going to the city. When I asked the guys on Monday, I said, hey, here are some scenarios. How many of you have been to New York City? And I think about 20 of our kids raised their hands. And so a chance to, we're going to stay, I think, about 2 blocks off of Central Park and at a big location. We're not going on vacation, but it will be nice to get them into one of the great cities of the world and then represent, again, a great institution with a great alumni base up there. So it's going to be a lot of fun. And like I said, I'm really excited to play Duke. Not yet, really, because we've been, we hadn't had a lot. We didn't know what was going on except, hey, here's just the process of what we're going to try to do to get better this week. And some of you guys, we're going to try to rest you and take advantage of it. And some of you guys need rehab, and some of you guys need some academic work. I mean, we had many different avenues of what was going on. So, we just took, each one. Like today, I gave the veterans the option of you can practice or not practice. Get what you need. Because some of the guys wanted to do some work. They felt they were doing too little. Everybody's a little different. Some guys are beat up more than others. And so we're kind of trying to, we went through yesterday, hey, if we were fortunate enough to land in the Pinstripe, which looked like it was going that way, here's my thought with some bowl scheduling. As veteran players, you guys like these practice days, and here's how we're doing it. So we just try to keep selling ownership to the team, and just we're trying to facilitated an environment that the players are getting what they want so they can maximize their development and their experience. And that's been the gist of this week, and that'll be next week. Now, when we come out of exams, we'll get a little bit more into the opponent and the bowl game. Right now, it's been into getting your bodies right. That means young guys are lifting, medical guys are treatment. Everybody's hitting the books as hard as we can academically, and so it's been a little bit more of just that we talk a lot about constant improvement. We just want to make sure we continue to try to improve.
Obviously, bowl experience in Oklahoma and other places. What's the key to preparation so that you go there, you're fully prepared?
I think, every year, every team and every scenario is going to be different. So where are you? What are you trying to, get accomplished just with your program, let alone the game and the game planning and all that? You can overdo things. You can underdo things. I have a lot of respect and appreciation and admiration for Coach Hebner. But I never liked to play 13 because you want to win 13. And so you want to win the next game. So no disrespect, because I love Hep, so don't Twitter that out now and slight me in, because I love Jane, the family, the whole gig. So that's not a slight, but you want to win the game. The greatest bowl experience is victory. It's not the ring. The watch is going to break. I still got my Blue Bonnet Bowl sweater from 1980, first one. I got them all. Got every T-shirt, got every hat. They sit there and collect dust. But I can go through and tell you some games. Matter of fact, I just mentioned one I didn't like, because you remember, to me, the ultimate is the game experience. It's going to be it's nice to get the reward, but ultimately, as a program and as a competitor, it's about the game, and you just want to get prepared to give yourself a chance to go win. There's always the issues of now you got the layoffs, and you see sloppy football when you go into these kind of games. Kicking gets sloppy, turnovers, some things we've kind of been decent at. And so you want to stay sharp. You don't want to over-practice your football team, but we need to have a good show. We need to go play well, because we want to keep building. And like I say, we're not happy just to be there. It's just a great opportunity to keep building, and we want to max that out.
Is there a definitive number of practices that you're allowing?
No, and that's not, we're right now under a 20-hour rule, which with coaches on the road recruiting. We practiced today for an hour and a half, and it was and that's counting stretch and is with the non-padded stuff, and like I say, we had 30 guys not do anything other than just kind of stand around and watch. So we'll go through this next week in the lifting mode, a lot of academic work. Got a day or two of yoga, we always do that straight, keep moving. And we'll practice next Friday a little bit. We got our banquet next Friday night, kind of an open house deal we do. It's always kind of a neat little event for families. So we got banquet next Friday night, and tie that into recruiting weekend. We'll practice next weekend. We got another home basketball game. Those are always great weekends. So we'll have, next weekend. Next week is going to be like this week. We'll get the old guys doing more. We gave you a little break. We'll get them back lifting and keeping our body weights and conditioning right. Exam week, we just got, look at schedule, because we got, those are critical times. And so I don't know how much that following week. Then we get over that weekend, last day of exams is Friday the 18th, 19th, 20th, 21st. That 21st is the Monday of game week. So we'll practice probably that weekend kind of good, and we'll probably start traveling Monday or Tuesday. That's not been determined yet. We'll get up there and then kind of have, some stuff there. But you'll probably get a lot of development work, a lot of guys getting right, and then we'll do a lot of preparation at the end of finals and that weekend prior to going up there. And then we'll have game week, but it'll be modified. Just logistics. You got travel around in buses in New York City to go practice. It's not easy. And so where do you practice? When do you practice? Because that all leads to, to your team being fresh or not fresh. So you got to practice hard, you got to practice smart. And so there's a lot of dynamics. And now you throw in the largest city in the world, or I guess it was, I think it's, and you throw all those dynamics, and you got a lot of moving parts there. So. Yeah, I think so. Like Danny Fran's out there going, Andre Brown's going back, and we'll see. Some of those guys have been hurt long enough that they could get a medical. Like Danny Fran could actually be medical and get a medical, and you could go a 6th year. But I don't know if guys want to play college football 6 years, especially when you're lifting and squatting and running and off seasons and all that. So, we'll talk to some of those guys. But there were some guys doing more today than they were as we went, and hopefully we can practice and continue to improve our toughness. And do the things you need to as a football team, but also not get injured and be as complete as we can. And maybe more complete than we were at the end of the year. Jordan Howard had a knee scope, you know, and had it on we were trying to go through the game. And then the deal was we thought we might could go through Purdue and then scope him and then get him back for the bowl game. Well, when he came in Maryland, we just sped it up a week. We'll see what his timeline is. I don't know anything about that. The thought process would be he could. And at the same time, you know, he's a great player and a lot of things to consider. So we'll be smart there. We have other backs. You guys don't talk about it, but the line and tight ends kind of block good, and that helps the running game a lot. So the runners are good, but you know, we ran it good. You know, and there's a lot of consistency with our group too, though. You know what I'm saying? So we want to keep the defense has got to keep getting better, and we got to keep moving with the offense and young guy stuff. That's kind of what we're doing.
I guess,
Excuse me?
just a long time ago when you built your first staff here, you talked about bringing in guys with experience at programs that regularly won. You've talked about how hectic this schedule is going to be for the next couple of weeks. You've got recruiting, you've got finals and stuff. How much does it help to have, I guess, a staff with a lot of assistants that are very familiar with the bowl process?
Well, you know, we're playing a team that's been there now several years, more used to it. Now, our staff has. It's going to be, you know, a part, like our guys are recruiting, and when they left today, their iPads were booted up, and they've got video, and they can start looking at it. But again, if you can get ready to play one of the top 10 teams in the country in 3 or 4 days, you think in a couple weeks you can get ready to play someone else. So, you know, sometimes in bowl games you can over-prep, over-coach, over-practice, overdo it. I mean, so you know, we're kind of routine-oriented, but I kind of like it. I kind of like, you know, riding around on a plane last week and figuring, okay, if we're doing a calendar, what are my lift days and what are my practice days and when are we traveling? And you got, quote, bowl events you put in there, but it was kind of nice because it's been a couple years since that happened. It was a good feeling sitting on a plane and kind of figuring that schedule out again.
You talked about some prospects out there. I've seen you guys play on national TV. They were pretty receptive to you. How's the reception been on the recruiting trail since you won the last two?
It's been good, and it was good before. When we went out open date week, I mean, we've got a number of kids just visited this week, and you look at who they've been offered by or who they were committed to or who they are committed to. I don't know what commitment means anymore. I mean, to me, recruiting's going to start about January 15th, and it's going to be a free-for-all. And so right now, it's just, I guess we're recruiting, but we're just giving you guys a chance to fill up all your blog spaces, you know, but on the 15th, it gets real, you know, and that's why we need an early signing day and get kids locked in. But, you know, we've been very, very well received, and our deals, we just got to make sure we continue to target not highlight tapes, but kids that can represent our school the right way and be good students and make it here and also play high-end football in the Big Ten East.
Conversations that you had with Fred about possible contract extension? Is that something you talked to Fred about? Is that something you kind of talked
I
about?
have an agent that does that, so I haven't discussed. I mean, they'll move with that. It's kind of, we just kind of been recruiting, practicing, keep going.
On the recruiting trail, is that something you've been kind of bringing up to kids?
Well, I mean, it would, you know, it helps in recruiting that they know you're going to be at a place. So, I mean, that's always something, but, you know, that's not my decision. It's the administration's. And like I say, our deal is we keep trying to do everything we can to make the team better every day, and whether it be program development, academic development, or right now recruiting. And so we just keep slugging at it and fight. We got a great group of guys. They've shown the last couple, 3 years they can recruit pretty good. And we're having more slightly. It's not like we've done anything great, but we're having more slightly, more moderate success. And there's a good vibe, and we're just trying to use that momentum to kind of just keep landing them. What hopefully we finished every year very, very strong. We start very, very slow. We don't push commitments. We try to build relationships that will last and stick. You look at, I mean, last year I believe we lost 2 kids that were committed, and we signed 9 kids that were committed somewhere else. And we don't negative recruit. We just keep recruiting and try to build relationships and show the education opportunity, the program opportunity, and what we're trying to build. And we're going to keep doing that. So this staff has shown it we'll recruit well, and we're going to keep doing that. But stability is going to be huge. Winning is huge, and stability is huge in what you're trying to get going.
Going back to North Carolina and play Wake Forest, what does it mean to be the key to go against Duke?
Yeah, that's a good deal because, you know, like I say, even though I'm not playing, you know, years ago, it's just I've been fortunate to be at places, and it's the same deal. I had a chance a few years ago. A guy took me to a Carolina-Duke basketball game, and I'm a Carolina guy, but, you know, we had a chance. This guy was a huge Duke alumni guy. He was an Oklahoma person we had, and he took Coach Stoops and myself and Mr. Castiglione, the AD, and we got a chance to tour Lake Shashevskyville and go up into Coach K's office and see their facilities. And if they won, we were going to get a chance to go in the locker room after the game. And even I'm a Carolina guy, I go, this is like cool now. I mean, I'm all in. Like, I want to go see Coach K and his guys because I appreciate how great that program is and how great that coach is. And I respect that. And so I got a lot of respect for Duke, what it is at school. And what Coach Cutcliffe has done is one of the premier jobs in the country. And everybody talks about the jobs people have done. It's no accident what he's done. And it's going to be a strong, strong test. But I got a lot of respect for their program. That's, to me, what rivals are about. You're fortunate to have someone that's very, very good that you respect. And they're not going to be our rival like it was when I was at Carolina. But, again, I've got a ton of respect for that school that was 8 miles away. It's pretty neat. It's pretty cool. Yeah, and I never have, agreed or disagreed or said, to me, if you're at a great school, you ought to be great at a lot of things. And that's the thing I always took. Having played at Carolina, I mean, we were top 10 2 years and top 20 the 2 years I was there. I think we were 30. We were 130. I think we were 37 and 37 and 9 in my time there. And we won 3 bowl games and lost my last bowl game to Florida State. We beat Texas, Arkansas, and Texas in bowl games. It was playing Lawrence Taylor and some dudes that were dudes. I mean, they were guys now. It was legit. You got Michael Jordan and James Worthy walking around. I mean, it was a cool time. Davis Love's right there playing golf. It was, I played, playing golf with Jack Nicklaus Jr. I mean, to me, but Carolina was a great place, as is Duke, as is Indiana, and great places ought to attract great people. And there's no reason we got facilities we shouldn't attract enough great football people to be a competitive team. And I think our recruiting has shown we have done that, because I think that's why we were so consistent this year. We've recruited enough bodies that now match up, that we're not where we want to be, but we've gotten to where we're competitive enough to play competitive, decent football. And we want to keep pushing that to make that more winning football. And so, I respect, I just don't know if I compare other places to this place, because I think every place is different. I just always expected and thought that we could and should be successful. And I mean, it's difficult, it's challenging, it's a fight, but every day's a fight. At every place. Oklahoma was a fight every day. I mean, you're fighting every day. Energy, enthusiasm, organization. I mean, you're fighting every day to build the culture. And right now, we got a good culture downstairs in that locker room. And that's why those kids play pretty good. It's a pretty good culture down there. I got a lot of respect for those kids. Anything else?
Taking a similar arc this season as you guys, when they started off hot and then had a little bit of a losing streak and then won to end the season. How much has that done for you guys, just to kind of win a couple going into the
Well, again, from the bowl opportunity, the energy of that, the practice opportunities and recruiting, no doubt. And ultimately, for me, I get a chance again to keep working with some kids and look at some guys I got a lot of respect for that can kind of go out on a positive note. Like I told those kids a couple weeks back, win, lose, or draw, they had an ultimate place in my heart, spirit for what they had done, just the way they continue to embrace our values and come to work every day. So they're coming in now. It's a great group of men. But just it's kind of, it helps recruiting. It's going to help the off season. I think having a good bowl experience, Alex even builds on that even more. But ultimately, just there's some kids that have given so much, just to give them a chance to just have a little bit more self-esteem and self-confidence, because that's a great group of guys that back there. And I'm going to flip it over and give it to him. Yes, sir.
Whenever we've talked about, through, I guess, the last 5 years bowl games, one of the things you've talked about, and I think you mentioned it a little bit here, is young guys getting those extra practices, the ones that maybe aren't going to play this year, redshirting, whatever. How much more can they get out of this?
It's huge. I mean, we're making recruiting decisions right now based on looking at practice. That comment was made today. Where are you going this week? I'm going to X school. Why? Well, if this guy ain't ready, I need to go get me one of those, whether it be high school or junior college. So, I mean, it gives you an opportunity to build your team. It gives you an opportunity to eval your team. It gives you, I mean, when you have a recruiting weekend and you got kids at practice, I mean, that's lights out. We haven't had that. That's lights out. Shoot, the last couple of days we had the state 8th grade championships for, I think, Illinois, Wisconsin, maybe Michigan, Indiana. They were playing out there. To have those kids on campus and our team around that was kind of cool. So, so again, the young guy practice is valuable. And again, we've been trying to improve without those practices. And so, like a lot of people's last football, our previous last football day was what was last Saturday? Was it the 28th? So now our last football day will be December 26th. That's basically 30 more days without overdoing it of football development. That's huge.